Good afternoon, everybody. It is January the 21st, 2021, and I have my January Just Junk journal that I made for a challenge with DearJulieJulie. So I needed a creative writing journal for myself this year, and I remembered I had an old brown line 2020 daily agenda that was never used. So I thought, well, those pages would be really good for my creative writing. So I took the agenda apart and I cut off all the previous holes. And since I wanted to start my creative writing prompts right off the bat, I thought I better make my cover and get those pages bound into my journal right away. So the first thing I did was I made the cover. Now the inspiration for this journal was a big wine book that I had and the map that was a piece of garbage that I got from I don't remember where. I ended up with 3 of them one time. I think they were at the side of the road. So the image on top of the map is from the wine book. And I also used one of the magazines that I used was Art Abella magazine, and I took some images from that magazine to put into the journal. So the cover is made from chipboard, and I get tons of chipboard from work because each package of labels that we open has a chipboard 8.5 by 11 on the top of the labels and 1 on the bottom. And I can't bear to see them thrown in the garbage, so I asked people to keep them for me. My first page for January is the To a Pocket page. I have put, I sewed around, I used the pages from the wine book. I sewed around the edges and I distressed it. I added some stickles to bring out the labels on the page. And I put one of my fabric edges, which was a wine bag that I got for Christmas. We got a couple of bottles of wine, and each one came in this bag. I also used another wine bag, and this is the topper from it, and it was made out of paper, and I took it apart. So this is one of my fabric tags. And again, I put some of the fabric from the wine bag on there, and the ribbon or the rope from the wine bag. And yes, you'll hear me say wine a lot because there's a lot of wine elements in here. One of the things I liked so much about the book was it had a winemaker's calendar in it, and so I took each one of the things that tells the winemaker what to do that month. And I've cut them apart, and I used one on every month throughout the journal. One of the my stickers, I cut out all I cut out I think 28 total of the small wine labels that you see throughout the book, and I made those into stamps. So those were my homemade stickers. And throughout the book you'll see the consistency on every page, the winemaker's calendar for the month, and one of my stickers that I've canceled stamps. I'm using this journal also for my water challenge, and it's kind of a glue book too. So there is I haven't put in today's and yesterday's yet. So that's my calendar to tell me that I've done my water for the day, and then I have my prompts for January, and then I'm using, like I said, I'm using this to do my daily prompts. So that is January. February is the envelope side tuck on the page. It's embellished with the DearJulieJulie digital, and the ones that I used for DearJulieJulie was the, I hope I can remember the name of it. It's a base kit. and it also had the Grungy Daisy, I think, Grungy Daisy. So I did the pocket there. I've embellished the pocket with a piece of tie from the wine bag, some fabric, and I put one of the tabs on this page. And again, you'll see that's the back of the pocket, the corner pocket. And inside that pocket is a large journaling tag. And I just had some junk that was sitting around. Like, this is an old thing that I got in one of the wedding invitations to save the date. Little piece of Julie's digital on there. So that is the large fabric tag. And again, you see my homemade stickers. In March, I have the large indexed file card with fabric pocket. It actually has two pockets. It has a small pocket and a fabric pocket with a cluster on there with one of the homemade stickers and canceled stamps. And on the back of that is my flip-flop with flap. And I've actually made a double flip-flop with flap. So here's the first one, and it flips and flops. And then my second one is here, and it has my March wine calendar, as well as another page that I can put information in. So that has the flap on it. And in the April, we have our double tuck. And this time, because I wanted to use another edge here, it was about time I've used an edge again, because I'm trying to space them throughout the 12 months, I decided to put my double tuck on the bottom. And in the double tuck is two of the journaling cards of the 8, and these are the size of 3x4. And on the back of that, I just put another pocket. This is not part of the element, but I've had a whole page there, and I just wanted to keep this information, so I made it into a tag, and it made it look like a wine bottle bag. This is May, and it is the belly band with large tag. And the belly band, so this little tag here is actually what you would put the name on for the person that you gave the bottle of wine in the bag for. So that was that, and I put another piece somewhere else. I have part of the wine bag there. I have my homemade washi tape. My homemade washi tape is made with a little piece of the map that was left, and then I ended up I had a whole bunch of old gel pens that weren't working, and so I have about 4 gold ones. I blew the ink out. I added it to a little pot, added some glitter into the pot, as well as some glossy accents, and I made my own stickles. And this book here is a large tag, but it's also a book. I used the end pages of the actual book, the wine book, and I put some packing paper in for the papers, and added a little fabric tab to make it look like a tag, even though it's a book. And the back of that I just left pretty plain with my calendar and my stamp. And into June, we have our fabric flip edge with pocket under it, and a little bit of the homemade washi tape. I took something out of my junk jar. I do have a junk drawer, but most of my junk I just throw in a jar and have it on my desk, so that was in there. And I have 3 large tags, and these are the journaling tags, and these are the 3x7. Some of my homemade stickles, a little bit of sewing, and some distressing. And there's the pocket. And our next one is July, and it is my 3-pocket page. The 3-pocket page starts with the large pocket in the inside, which is actually has 2 pockets there, and in it I have a large tag with one of the fancy antique ties, and it also has a pocket. And then I have in another pocket on this side with some information tucked in, I put one of my matchbook notebooks in there. And on the back I have two journal cards that are like postcards, and those are the 3x5 postcard size. And now I only put the first 6 months of blank paper in here from the agenda because it was going to get too full. So after I get to June, I'll be taking out the first 6 months and adding the second 6 months. So now I just have the other 6 pages dividers in here. So in August we have another fabric edge on the page. We have some washi tape up at the top, and we have 2 journaling cards in a pocket, and they are the 2x2 journaling cards. September we have our flip up, flip down, and the pocket for that is this little one right here is the pocket. And then in October we have our packaging pocket. This is a piece of packaging from Recollections, and I attached it to the page. The large tag is actually a greeting card that I have made. Put a little cork on the top from the junk drawer cupboard, junk jar, and I put some packing paper for papers in there, and I also added some embellishing on the front, a piece of DearJulieJulie's and something from the jar or the container. Now, for me to tell you exactly where every one of DearJulieJulie's digitals is, that because the kit that I used, and I used the small journal cards, every tab of all 12 have a piece of the grungy lace on it, where I've attached the month, which came from one of the a small desk calendar. So I just took those desk calendars, pulled one of the months, like a word from it, and added that to DearJulieJulie's. Plus I've scattered some other ones throughout the journal here and there, as you see, to fill up my whole amount. At the back we have another fabric tag, which was made out of the wine bottle, and another one of the matchbook. And then November we have some more of the fake washi tape, or the homemade washi tape rather. And in December we have, and the borders, because we needed so many borders, so I usually use the washi tape for the border. December we have 2 more of the tags with the antique ribbon tie, and they're just small little tags like that, and I tucked them in this little pocket. Now, as you've seen, this wallpaper, I did use wallpaper in here, as well as a wallpaper border. And this is the last page, but again, with the last of the December calendar. This is just a really nice page from the magazine, and again, this is from that beautiful magazine. And the last page is the part of the calendar, or the map, and it's bound, as you can see. And that was a fun challenge. Some different things that we've got to make. Oh, I forgot, we have our last item. So the last item is our folio. It had to be a tri-fold wallet folio, and so I made it quite large. As you can see, here is for your paper clips along the side. You've got a pocket here. There's 2 pockets here. Oh, there's my extra. I was looking for these today. DearJulieJulie digitals. I was going to use them for her digitals, this kit. So these come from all different ones of her digitals that I had left over. And there's 2 more pockets here, as well as a big corner pocket here, and another one here, and another one here. And I probably could put more here. So I used a piece of my fabric. As you can see, I didn't have a long enough piece, but I made it work. And I sewed it, and I distressed it. And on the front was another page from the book, some more of Dear Julie Julie's digitals. And that is the tri-fold folio. Thank you, Julie, for challenging us again to the challenge. My list for my materials is actually not even completely used up. I think I only used 18 items and 15, including the paint and the paintbrush, to color or to paint my wine bottle card. So I didn't even use up all the items, so that was quite generous. But with the supplies that I had with that wine book and the wine bottle bags, there was lots of room for embellishments with stuff like that. So I hope you enjoy this, and I can't wait to see everybody else's January Junk Journal Challenge journal. Bye-bye now.